All right, it's in between, and Richard has teased us.
What's going on?
For the past week and a half, because we did a week and a half in one morning, but he's teased us that he has something for us.
So you remember a few months ago, Super 7 did a line of reaction figures.
Yeah.
They have a whole line of them. And I got you guys some of the first wave, which was 6 different reaction figures from Planet of the Apes. And they were from a little bit from all over the place. They weren't just from the first film. They were from a couple of ones. Well, they have a new addition to that line.
Okay.
They're calling it Wave 2, so I don't know if there's more figures coming, but I want you guys to have this. They actually made a bloody lawgiver statue in a box to go along with your figures, and here you go, guys.
Oh,
Nice.
dude.
Add to your collection of stuff.
I've always wanted a bloody lawgiver.
This is the description. Lawgivers.
Now you don't have to use your own blood anymore.
This is the description from Super 7. Lawgivers so revered among apes that when an image of a statue begins to bleed and beneath the Planet of the Apes, it makes Gorilla Army panic and despair. Only the urging of Dr. Zaius is able to restore order and rally the apes. This 5 3/4 Planet of the Apes bloody version of the Lawgiver reaction figure depicts Apes' religious icon with the sacred skulls drenched in blood, as shown in what has become one of the most iconic moments from the Planet of the Apes franchise. And there you go.
Dude, you are too good to us. Thank you very much.
I hope this is the start of another wave. You know,
I
really
hope so
do.
too. I love the fact that people are actually making things from the classic line.
Yeah, for sure.
They for a little while there, they made the new figures, and I never
from
bought
the
any
Tim
of those.
Burton ones, you mean?
Well, they made the Tim Burton. They also made the most recent.
Oh,
they
they
made
did?
some. Yeah, they're really good. I just never bought them, and now I wish I had. And I'm sure if I went to buy them, they'd be god awful expensive. But thank you.
It is interesting. You wonder, like, what is happening in this particular studio. It'd be fun to actually talk to somebody from Super 7.
Yeah.
To find out how they decide what to make
Which figure?
figures of.
Yeah.
A bloody lawgiver is a very, very specific reference as opposed to another character or another play set or
like
something
Child
else to do.
Cornelius or something.
Yeah, it's a little.
I'm not
unique.
opposed to reaching out to Super 7 and asking if somebody will come out and talk to us.
And how do they make these decisions
Yeah.
on the toys? And
They should.
why
They should
Planet
have
of the
a.
Apes?
They should have a Zira Cornelius and Zira and Zaius and a little Cornelius figure.
They should.
Babysit, like a 3-pack.
They should also have a bloody Cornelius on the ground figure. Yeah. Well, you could have both. You could have the adult from Escape and the little child from Battle.
Yeah.
Get 2 cornies. So I'm assuming that this would be a good time for me to say that ZeusComics.com would be a great place to order this as well, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I always have to tout Richard. You know, if you're in the Dallas area, he's on Inwood Road. Go out and see them. See them there. That is an amazing comic book store. But if you need this, go to ZeusComics.com. You can order it, and I'm pretty sure Richard will send it with love.
Yeah. In a nice package.
Well, dude, seriously, thank you again.
You're welcome.
You're very
You're
sweet.
welcome.
We didn't really go and say, hey, let's hit these topics of conversation. Is there something? I mean, we took a week off as I took Abby to school. Abby's in school. Abby's doing great. She's making friends. She's already gone to her classes, having a great time.
She is great.
Yeah. How are you dealing?
It's weird. There are days where, because we get to, I said Zoom when Sean asked about this earlier, but Google Meet is what we're using just because it can go full screen.
Yeah.
That's really helpful. Seeing her, you get so used to going from wiping a kid's ass to the age when they're acting like an ass. And when she's gone, it's odd, but we talk to her about every night. There are days where it's like, oh, I'm cool with this. And then there are days where it's like, oh, fuck.
It is fascinating now to think about, back when I was in school and it was like
the phone call.
It was a
and that was
phone
about
call. You'd have to make a trip, and now we can FaceTime and Zoom, and just like, there you are. We do that with our nieces from time to time, and it's really just kind of, now.
Yeah.
They're 5 and 10, so it's the most
Not the
obnoxious
most-
FaceTime ever.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I'm
It's not the
half
most
time,
concentrated,
I'm
yeah.
looking at the ceiling while they're talking, running around.
I know that we're lucky. I don't know that I don't believe in luck. We've worked hard to make sure we talk about everything with her. There's no subject you cannot broach with us. And because of that, Abby treats us with a crap ton of respect. And so she gets on and she'll talk to us for an hour. I know where the luck that I mentioned comes into, because I have other friends. Yeah, we FaceTime. I only get about 5 minutes with them. I was like, Jesus, Abby couldn't get off in 5 minutes because she wants to talk to us.
Yeah.
So we're lucky in that regard.
Yeah.
And it really does help having that. But it's no different than this. It's the same as with you guys. When we Zoom or whatever to record it, it's not the same as being in the room with you. The interaction is obviously so much different. The cool thing is she comes home in 2 weeks because she's going to go to a concert here. So I get to hug her up and
Is she gonna fly? Yeah.
Yeah, she's flying in, and she wants to come eat downtown Dallas or somewhere like that, and then go to her show. And
Does she have any friends yet at school? People she know that did anybody from Dallas go there that she?
no. Here's the weird thing. So again, we live in a suburb of Dallas named Allen. There are tons of other little suburbs right around that same area, and literally right down the hall is a girl from Plano.
Okay.
So she's bumped into a few. She's made some friends, but it's still that, that weird area, especially going so far out of state, where she'll, I went out with these people, and the next day I don't have any friends, and she just feels that back and forth, but it's starting to work itself in.
Well, there was a lot of that when you're new somewhere.
Absolutely.
You will kind of begin to meet and hang out with some people, and then maybe like a couple weeks go by, and those people all turned over to somebody else that you kind of have bonded with in a particular class, or
Right.
that you see, or somebody's friends, and pretty soon, I mean, my friends changed over my freshman year a
Absolutely.
ton of times, and even over the course of the college. The people that I grew closer to over by the end of college were not necessarily the people that I knew at the beginning.
Mine ended up for pretty consistently, because I was a music major, so you're around those people in band, orchestra, jazz band. Those were the people I hung out with. But when I look at what Abby's situation is, I already thought that I'd like this kid that she knows right now, she may not know in 4 years, and it is what it is now. She started with classes. She's a psych major, and so their first real study, you had the choice of either helping to write the paper on it or to be a research subject. And so she's going to be the research subject. And I told Sean, I'm like, that's going to be a great way to meet people too. You're going to be research. People are going to get to know you. I just don't envy going back to that
time.
No. At least when I finally went to school in Florida, I went with a friend. A friend went with me, and I had somebody to rely on.
I was the same thing. Whenever I went to school, I went with a friend as well.
Schools just suck. I don't want to go back to being a teenager.
But we're also in the opposite end of that, where movement or long stretches of time feel like they pass very quickly because there's so much normalcy and everything, and everything is standard and routine. Our work schedules, our holidays, our things are so planned out. Whereas for Abby, it's going to every new month is going to be a new group of friends, or a new experience, or a new class, or a new this, and it's going to feel like a lot of changes happening in a very short period of time.
It's hard not to sit here as a parent, almost 1,000 miles away from her, and give her, like when she said, I don't have any friends. Well, here are 6 girls I know you've met. You like, have you reached out to them? Well, no, stop and go do something. Now, I will tell you the funny thing. So I've always been very open with Abby about alcohol, that I don't drink to the point ever to get drunk, but she knows I usually have wine or beer or something daily. And so I'd always, you want to try some? Oh my God, my heart was broken when, and I let me also say before I even say this, when we went to New Orleans, I let my daughter have those little booths where you walk along and they have like almost like slushies that are alcohol. Daiquiris. Well, I let her get a strawberry daiquiri, and she drank half of it, and she's like, my eyes are floaty. And, I'm like, and honestly, I did that intentionally, because I was like, I'd rather you do this here with me than be there and get fucked up. Well, she's talking. We went to this party, and I had myself a Miller Lite, and I was like, okay, first off, bad beer.
If you're gonna drink properly, girl.
She told me, she's like, I kind of liked it. I said, because it tastes like water, and it doesn't. But she said, but the good thing was, my eyes got a little floaty. I knew to stop, and I was like, I win. Lesson learned. I'll let you get floaty eyes, and now you're. But she also tried Bush's and thought that was good. And I was like, you are not my fucking kid.
I think it's Monty Python that did the joke. What's the why you're drinking American beer and having sex in a boat the same thing? They're both fucking close to water.
That's funny. That's funny.
But
And there was another comedian, I can't remember, like one time my dad caught me smoking cigarettes, so he took me out to the shed and he gave me a whole pack of cigarettes. You're going to smoke this whole thing right now. I gotta tell you, that's when I started smoking cigarettes.
Nice. Other than that, for me, just adjusting to, I don't go upstairs anymore. The air conditioner's off.
Are you serious?
I have an office. The place where we record is upstairs. Yeah. I do work. The guy I told you I'd written a screenplay with. I need to admit that I go up there for an hour and a half daily to work with him. That's it, and everything stays off, because that's really, we had one kid, we intended 2, and there's nothing else going on up there. So why the fuck would I go? I want to sell the house. I keep telling Shelly, I'm small. Let's go, but she's not ready.
Yeah. Not ready to come down here to civilization?
How long have you been in the house?
20 years.
Wow.
So Abby's grand plan is once she wants her doctorate, and once she gets her doctorate, she wants to move back to Dallas. She wants to live on Greenville because she loves the houses over there, and she wants us to live nearby. And I'm like, okay. You know, I never said that I wouldn't live in Dallas proper again. When we first got married, we did. I just moved there for better schools and whatnot. And once this is all done, then we'll probably move that way. And you guys can quit bitching at me. You have to drive so far.
I don't complain about that.
You don't. Sean does.
I don't complain about that.
All right. So what else is going on? That's only 10 minutes out of an in between.
I'm trying to think.
Which, by the way, Sean's shirt. Do you still have those?
Yes. I need to make some more. I mean, I've got some sizes.
Will you tell me when you make more?
Sure.
Because I meant to buy one the first time, and I've completely forgot about it. I think that's right around when I didn't get to come to Zeus anymore.
Okay, so I don't want to talk about politics. I want to delve deep into it, but one of my friends came in last weekend, and he was basically explaining the fight that he got in with his brother, and in which he hung up the phone. And I have to tell you, this it's a little political, but the logic just blows me away.
Okay.
So Evan was calling his older brother. I should name names. Anyway, his older brother lives in Louisiana.
Don't name states either.
Refuses to get vaccinated, that kind of stuff. But whatever. It was a happy birthday call. The conversation was light. And for whatever reason, the conversation about the California drought came up.
Okay.
Briefly.
Okay.
Because, again, my friend hung up the phone on him. And it came up, and so he was trying to explain, well, it's already an arid climate. There have been a lot of populations that have moved in there. There has been a little bit less snowpack, and there's a lot of demand for agriculture since it's where we primarily do all of our agricultural stuff. And there's multiple states and communities that are trying to tap from the same river system, all that kind of stuff. He's literally sounding like, wow, you really put some thought of that. His brother tells him the reason there's a drought in California. You guys sitting down? What, you are sitting down. You ready for this?
No.
All the illegal immigrants are drinking all of the water. Did I tell you that?
No, but
Oh my God.
Drinking it. There's a group of people that are physically drinking so much water
that
they're
is
causing
causing
a
a
Do you
drought.
realize how many people you would need to drink enough water?
Well, that's just it. We're a planet of freaking water.
No shit.
I understand where rainfall doesn't come down in an area because of climate or changing environments or whatever. Sure, great, I get that. But the idea that one population can drink all the water is insane to me, particularly because it's specifically illegal immigrants. Like they're coming, they're
coming to drink our water.
It's so bizarre.
So that all goes to, though, you have flat earthers.
Right, that's immediately where I went to. Yeah.
Well, have you heard the shit about birds aren't real also?
Yeah, I mean...
you haven't heard that one?
No,
There's
birds
a whole...
aren't real?
I think you can literally go to birdsaren'treal.com. I'm pretty sure that's what... The reason I know that is when we were moving Abby in. So, Abby, it's a very cool process. You pull up, you get 30 minutes with this big, laundry bucket. So we're going, right? And I'm pushing this shit just to get it up and down. And when I came back, a kid pulls in on the back of his car. It said birdsaren'treal.com. I'd read about it.
I've got to know what this is.
But I was like, what?
What?
I've heard a podcast on it too. I mean,
this is... Okay,
I
what
really
the fuck?
feel like sometimes these
I've been
start
shit
off
on
as
by
a
bird.
joke.
Wake up from the lie, resist the bird drones, instill information, and spy on you. No way! This is somebody's punking us.
I really think some of these things start off as a joke, and then some people take it.
Birds charge on power lines. This is a joke. This the person that posted that had that sticker on their vehicle was just being ironic.
I agree with what Sean said. I think many of these things probably start with somebody being tongue-in-cheek, but they gain traction, and there are people out there that are now believing that birds are being used to control us.
I can't. Oh my gosh, this is a thing. Birds Aren't Real has 334,000 followers on Instagram.
We're going to have to be careful that he doesn't actually start believing this now.
My head's gonna explode. No, this is okay. It's one of those things where I see something like Birds Aren't Real, and it's something to me that's laughable. Same thing when people mention microchips in the vaccine shots. We can joke about it because we know that it's not real, and it's funny to say because we think that a population believes it. But there's another extension when people actually kind of follow down this trail of these conspiracy theories that there's deep state, there's birds aren't real, that they're charging on power lines, that microchips in vaccines. And I honestly to be fair, I don't always believe that these things exist. And then I read news reports about the dewormer stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, people are